Mad Max franchise has been going on ever since the first movie released back in 1979 with Mel Gibson in the lead role, and the last movie from this franchise releasing in 2015. And today, more than 5 years since the last movie released, and despite the fact that the script exists for the next movie called Mad Max: The Wasteland, it still hasn't happened. And today we're going to talk about just that, the potential for the movie and the long-awaited Mad Max 5, as many call it nowadays. Enjoy! Recap. Before we move forward about what might be coming in the near future, let's first talk about what happened with the last one and how it was received by the fans. Thus, despite 2015's Mad Max Fury Road becoming an instant classic and fans clamoring for more, the planned sequel seems like it has been trapped in a limbo. Following the release of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome in 1985, the series creator George Miller felt like the series was done and that everything he planned has been accomplished and that there's no need for any new installments moving forward. However, it took him only 15 years to conceive the idea that eventually became known as Mad Max Fury Road. And as things go in Hollywood, it took another 15 years for the movie to be released eventually. Before the script was even written, Miller extensively storyboarded the whole movie as he wanted the narrative to function almost without a dialogue, which is pretty strange. The film was first announced to start filming back in 2003, with Mel Gibson yet again reprising his role. But this production process was cancelled following the outbreak of the Iraq War and resulted in security concerns over the plan to shoot the movie in Namibia. Unfazed by this, Miller spent the intervening years refining the written script and working on more and more Mad Max Fury Road projects, including a prequel anime on the side going by the name of Furiosa, the name he used in the movie when it released in 2015. It may have been a long ride, but when Mad Max Fury Road released in 2015, it was met with universal acclaim and became regarded by many fans as the best installment of the whole franchise. The movie was also a solid hit for an R-rated action movie, also at the box office and surprisingly at the Oscars. But despite all this, the politics have slammed the brakes on the series for now, and next in our video, we'll examine just why this has happened.
They're my property!
George Miller wants to make Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, what a day! What a love!
As we mentioned before, many years have passed since the idea for yet another sequel for the franchise first was announced in the public, and over the course of this period, George Miller had a lot of time to develop Mad Max Fury Road. And during that time, he also completed 2 additional scripts, with one of them being Mad Max: The Wasteland. The movie we're all waiting for it to happen. And the other script of the 2 is presumably a script for a prequel to the franchise that features the Vovolini from Fury Road. The before-mentioned anime featuring Furiosa in the lead role and everything revolving around her. We can all agree that Furiosa became an iconic figure on her own during the last Mad Max movie, for which both George Miller and Charlize Theron have expressed their desires to make a solo movie with the character, just because of what she represents now after the last Mad Max movie showed her in the right spotlight. Miller also added that Mad Max: The Wasteland will not be a direct sequel to the previous movie and that Furiosa will not be in that movie. He also said that the movie will be of a smaller scale when compared to the last one, operating with a lower budget and fewer stunts along the way. An eventual sequel to the last Mad Max movie was in the middle when George Miller announced that after Mad Max Fury Road, he'll be taking a break to recharge his batteries, but recent sources say that he's definitive in his actions to return for The Wastelands, his next big thing for the franchise. Mad Max: The Wasteland is being delayed by a lawsuit. As we've said before, many factors were and still are in play for the delay of the next installment of the Mad Max franchise, and this is where the politics came into play. It turns out that Miller's production company and Warner Brothers fell into a dispute over an unpaid bonus following the release Mad Max Fury Road, and according to some resources, Miller's company was set to receive a $9 million bonus if the production budget came in under $157 million. Miller says that it did, but the studio insisted on expensive reshoots that added back the consequences that were previously cut due to budget costs, thus the whole situation inflating the final budget to over $185 million.
This is what remains. Morality, justice,
Miller also said that the studio is solely to be blamed for all these costs and that the bonus should have been paid on time. The studio countered the whole situation with their contract that was for a 100-minute PG-13 film, while Miller turned it into a 120-minute R-rated movie, and the whole movie exceeded its budget because of the many unapproved costs and all the delays of the Miller's production company. As it stands, both companies have locked horns over the issue and neither one is breaking down. And if we're asked, we think that even if a settlement is reached between the two, it's easy to imagine a scenario where Miller eventually decides not to return to work with the studio again, him not wanting to go through everything again, possibly sometime in the future. Will Mad Max The Wasteland happen?
We got him. The man they call Max.
No matter what happens about any possible future installments of the Mad Max franchise, it will always be as iconic in its own way. But realistically, the prospects of Mad Max The Wasteland looked bleak for so long. This was the case until summer 2019 when George Miller showed his confidence that yet another Mad Max sequel would indeed happen, or that he has the will to do it. And this news came through on the positive side after it was made known that the relations between himself and Warner Brothers had diminished since the purchase of that company by AT&T.
Everyone else.
Other reports surfaced in early February 2020 that Warner Brothers had approved Mad Max The Wasteland and that the sequel could begin filming in Australia as early as the fall of 2020. However, these reports are yet to be officially addressed since all the fans still remain in the unknown, guarded as to what will happen with the next Mad Max installment. When everything is considered, we know that both George Miller and Tom Hardy want to make it, and even Warner Brothers wants the project to happen. So the chances are looking good as of right now, and the whole mess will eventually unravel for all this to happen. Miller also showed that he can be very patient, and if we're asked, it would just not be the same if there's a world where Mad Max The Wasteland happens with him not at the helm of the whole project. Whatever the case may be in the near future, we can only hope that all pieces of the puzzle fit at the end of the day and that Mad Max will emerge from the desert someday. We just hope it doesn't take until the year 2045. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below which character from the last Mad Max movie has been your favorite, and what was the most interesting thing you noticed in the entire movie. And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.